What's the cost of selling a home in Wichita, Kansas? Find out what I got to say on this video, and I'm going to get right into it because I got 8 of these to go through and a bonus code at the end if you watch all the way through to the end for you. And I appreciate you watching all the way to the end on everything. So first off, if you like this content, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, all those things. I'd really appreciate it if you did all that. Really helps me out a lot as a small business owner here in Wichita. But the first one, just going to get right into it. You have what I'd call the mid-range service level, which is about 6% of sale price to sell your home. And that's what most realtors charge. No, not every realtor charges that. That's why I'm going into the 8 different options that you have for a realtor or the options of selling your house. I'm going to cover not all of them, but 8 of them, which is a good extensive amount of them. But that's typically what most realtors charge, about 6%. But the question you got to ask yourself is, what do they do differently, and what are their different price options, marketing options, everything else goes with it. The 6%, I think that's the one that most people are quote unquote used to. But no, we don't price tier the industry and fix that cost. We can literally charge whatever we want. That's just what most people are used to. There also is high-end marketing services that charge 7 to 8% of sale price. Now that might be that there's a lot of special considerations that go into this home sale, a lot of extra work that might go into it from a labor standpoint, service standpoint, or potentially you need more marketing, and that's why you go that 7 to 8%, to where there's more marketing as far as high-end exposure, more distribution to everywhere, more photography, more videography, more production that goes into marketing these homes to get them sold. Because believe it or not, houses don't just sell themselves, especially depending on the price point you're in. You know, the lower end goes nuts, but the higher end one stuff typically takes more to sell them, which gets me into number 3, which is your auction option. And that's typically one of the highest percentages charged. They typically charge a 10% buyer's premium, but we all know at the end of the day that buyer, when they're buying in the house, is taking into account the fact they got to pay a 10% buyer's premium. And so ultimately it's still costing the seller 10%. Because if it wasn't for that realtor and that auctioneer providing that service, then there wouldn't be that 10% charge there. But at the end of the day, you got to pay who's delivering the service. So not saying that auctions aren't worth it. They're just one of the highest forms of cost, but they also probably do the most as far as getting buyer demand, creating urgency, marketing, distribution, all that. They just also are one of the highest cost options out there. So keep that in mind, that auctions charge about 10%, at least around here in Wichita. That's what they charge. There is some certainty that goes with that, so you're paying a little more for that certainty, but that is what an auction cost, is about 10%. So, and I know they say the buyer pays it, but in all reality, like, the seller pays it too. Like, doesn't matter which way you shake it, like, there's a cost. Number 4, there's kind of lower end discount brokers, is what we call them, that'll charge anywhere from 4 to 5.5%. And they usually don't take that good of pictures, don't have that good of marketing, real lackluster descriptions, don't answer the phone that well, aren't very good at communication. You kind of get what you pay for type of thing. Obviously, if your boss asks you at your job to do the work you do, but for half the pay, you're probably not going to put into it as much as you would if you're getting paid your normal rate on everything. You're probably not going to get as much priority either. So just keep that in mind, that if you do go the discount broker route, you're going to get discounted service, discounted value. And ultimately, at the end of the day, like, it might save you a few dollars, but I would argue that you're going to lose a lot more money and opportunity than what you're saving in those discount brokers. Same thing, the next one I got, number 5, is there's some flat fee brokers out there. They can be anywhere from like $500 to $2,000 as a flat fee that goes with anything. And those flat fee brokers, a lot of times what they'll do is, like, for $500, they just throw it on the MLS, and then literally you handle everything. It's literally just $500 for them to post it online, and they do nothing from there on out. It's $500 to put it on there. There's also some other flat rate services that do like fee for service type of thing, like photos, videography, distribution, MLS posting, that cost a little more, $1,000, $2,000, and you can kind of piece it out. But again, you get what you pay for on a lot of these things, and it's usually a nightmare transaction. Anytime trouble comes up, anything comes up, those flat fee brokers really aren't there for you when it comes to one of the biggest financial transactions you ever do in your life. So I don't know about you, but that's kind of a big risk to take to try to save a few bucks here on this thing that's not really worth it, in my opinion. Number 6 that we have, obviously I got to address the FSBO, for sale by owner. Yes, you could throw it on Zillow. You could throw it on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, shoot in the wind, see if you could potentially try to sell it based on what Zillow says it's worth on his estimate on inaccurate data with everything. But the truth is we've done studies on that, and most for sale by owners make 12% less than if they listed with a realtor. So even though you're not paying a realtor fee, you're getting 12% less than if you hired a realtor. Where if we charge 6%, you would make 6% more listing with the realtor than if you went and listed as a for sale by owner. So even though you're not directly paying the fee, you are paying the cost in a lower sales price of everything. And not to mention, it's one of the biggest lawsuits in real estate is for sale by owners doing their own paperwork, trying to handle their own transactions, all the different legal complications, marketing complications, sales complications that go with for sale by owner. Not to mention the stress of having to show it all yourself, accommodate all these buyers. You're going to get hounded and pounded by realtors trying to get your business. And honestly, it is a route, but it is in my opinion, not as good of a route because you make less money for way more hassle. There's a reason we're professionals about all this stuff. Number 7 is the cash offer route. So you can sell it to like a wholesaler or to some of these other places. I actually do cash offers too. But typically the way those cash offers work is they're going to be about 40 to 45% of what the retail value is. So if we can sell the house for $100,000 once it's fixed up or that type of situation, we're probably going to offer you about 55 to 60,000 for that house because we got to go put the cash, the time, the money, the energy into it to get it to a resellable shape or a rentable shape. And those cash offers, even though you're not paying any fees, you still have to take into account what you're getting there. But there is a convenience factor because you're just getting rid of the house. You're just getting it offloaded. It's sold for sure. You're not paying a super high fee with auction and you just get it clean, done type of situation. So cash offers aren't the end of the world. Like if you got a probate situation or, an older house that needs fixed up or a rental, you're just tired and you just want to dump and be done with, like, here's a cash offer. If you're willing to do that, like I do those, most guys that are cash offers, you can get a lot of different options for cash offers. And then number 8 that I have is what I'd call a national cash buyer. So you have, depending on these markets, they're not in every market. I think Open Doors in Wichita is the only one we have. Zillow Offers isn't here, but there's other bigger markets that they're in. And these national cash buyers, basically their idea and their model is that they charge these large service fees that come with these. They're not charging them as realtor commissions, although it's a very borderline gray area what they're doing. Because they're buying the house as cash, but then they come with this like $30,000 to $50,000 service fee that goes with it. So there's still a big fee that goes with it, depending on the size of your house. Like you're basically paying the same cost as using a realtor on everything. They're just kind of taking a loss, and they're honestly just buying these houses to hold them for long term, and it has to be available in your market. I know in Wichita, Kansas, there aren't a lot of national cash buyers here. Our price point just isn't quite high enough for them to do that around here. There isn't enough distressed property. And honestly, like there isn't enough distressed property that most of the time you're going to get way more money on the retail market than if you went to a national cash buyer or cash offer stuff. This cash offer stuff is popular right now, but it's honestly only like 5 to 10% of the total picture of the real estate volume that goes on in the world, or not the world, I should say the US. I can't speak on the world. But that gives you the 8 different options that I put out there so far to give you a little more idea of it all. The bonus code I promised you at the beginning of the video, I have a bonus code, THH YouTube. If you want to keep that code, what we will do is we'll provide that 7 to 8% high-end marketing for you at the 6% price. And basically that's where we would do all the drone shots, the videos, the 3D tours, pay for the digital marketing, get you the most amount of exposure, but we'll do it at that 6% mid-range price. That's kind of our MO is we're digital marketers. We're very good. Digital marketers get you the most amount of exposure, the most amount of distribution. And what that typically generates is over asking price offers. So we price the houses where they're fair within the market. So if they sell there, we're still pushing the market. But then we see them typically going over asking price. And that's where you're seeing higher prices going it to where essentially like our fees get negated to where we sold this thing for over asking price. Now, obviously I can't promise and guarantee that, but when we sell it for over asking price, you're essentially just not even paying us because you're getting a higher price than what we were even asking for the house. So that gives you an idea of all the different costs of selling your home, a lot of the different options of selling your home. By no means this is an all-inclusive list, but this should give you a really good idea of the cost of selling a home here in Wichita, Kansas. Hopefully you appreciated watching this and you learned a little bit more how it all works today. Please, please, please like, comment, subscribe, share, depending on the platform. Check out more of my videos I got here on YouTube and everything else you can learn about Wichita, Kansas real estate and lifestyle. Thanks, guys. See you later.